Hello, Chuck here, and today I am back, but this time I am showcasing my hardcore build of the season, the Cobra Strike Assassin. Anyhow, this season Cobra Sin allowed me to complete and push through a lot of content, including mini Ubers and Ubers. You are now seeing me kill Dclone, although this Dclone kill is on pluggy, keep in mind my current hardcore assassin is much better gear than this one. I am even using one of the best CTA I rolled this season. Regardless of this extremely GG CTA, I managed to survive the season, and this is how I did it. First of all, as I mentioned in my previous video, there are some ways to help you stay alive. And what I believe to be the very best way to stay alive is do not play hardcore and not getting hit. How do you do that? Getting as much defense as you can. First of all, I am using an Act 2 Defiance merc. He is boosting my defense from 3.5 to 11.5k, so in maps it reduces chance to be hit by about 50% to 25%, which is absolutely insane. But obviously the Defiance aura isn't as good if you don't use a night defense item. And this is what brings us to now in the emergency room there is a stone armor. This armor is nuts. It boosts our damage with a plus skill, increases our faster hit recovery to an insanity level, and the defense on this item is absolutely bonkers. And the only way you will get me to remove this sweat stain armor is with an ethereal arcane veilor, and that is no easy feat to find on our core. The next good way to survive is a combination of sustain, faster block rate, faster hit recovery. And such, we are brought back to the emergency room with our next two items, Steel Shade and Venom Grip. Now when you get hit and you block, you will enter what we call the hit recovery, or in this case block recovery, which is affected by blocking frames. For the assassin, the reach of our goal is 3 frames. I need 32% blocking speed. Steel Shade Helm is an amazing helm and probably best in slot for many reasons. 2 skills, 30% faster block rate, fire absorb and mana leech. With that, we still need 2% block rate to reach the breakpoint we are aiming for, so that leaves us with either water walk boots or using gloves with faster block rate corruptions. Personally, I wanted to use resistance on my boots, so I opted for Venom Grit with faster block rate corrupt. These gloves also grant us 10 to 15% increase to poison damage, which is equivalent to about plus 3 skills at 14%. So it is pretty fucking insane if you use these gloves. On top of that, the corruption allows us to reach the breakpoints we need. And Crushing Blow with Lifesteal is just a nice bonus to add to all of that. Torrent Gloves are also a nice option if you are struggling with your cold resistance. And thus, the next best way to stay alive brings us back to the boots I mentioned earlier and the amulet. We want maximum resistances. The boots are Arthur's Advance, perfect fire resist at 50 and a great lightning resist corrupt at 20. On top of all that, we have 50 increase to life. Also, since I am not using burst of speed, I absolutely want that boost with 40% run walk. The Mara's Amulet, 2 skills to boost my damage and a whole bunch of resistances. Some may argue that I would be better with a GG Amulet with plus 3 or 4 to martial arts, but I completely disagree to that because it will lower my Venom damage, which is about as important as Cobra Strike damage. On a side note, since I got my torch and Annie, it gave me the resistances I liked, so a good to upgrade to my boots will be Shadow Dancers with a faster one wall corruption, or maybe a physical damage reduction. One of my rings is Raven Frost. I am currently trying to upgrade for a better one with flat damage reduction. Raven Frost is an important part of my gear for the cannot be frozen, and it gives a huge boost to attack rating, which is extremely important. And the other ring is Dwarf Star Ring, which I will be upgrading for a Burkatos with a flat damage reduction corruption whenever I can find one little piece of... it's hard to find on our core. But getting that plus 1 skill will be huge for my damage. The belt is Verdungo, granting an insane amount of vitality and physical damage reduction. There is no better alternative here. Perhaps you may consider Arak on softcore. My main weapon is one I am pretty proud of, and behold the godliest Bartik in history. 2 MA skills, 2 Sin skills, hit recovery, strange, dex, life leech. Did you notice it's 1% of perfect? With this baby I hit like a truck, and I am not even a physical build, Jesus Christ. And all that brings us to the last thing that will keep you alive today. Curses. Amplified damage is the world #1 cause of premature deaths, and will keep being so until you get vaccinated. Fade skill already grants like 46 curse reduction and so. My next off and upgrade is going to be Plague Runeward. Plague reduces poison resistance to monster and grants a cleansing aura that will increase my curse resistance to 100, making me uncursable. But until I have a base with +3 to Cobra Strike, I am stuck with a second Barca Claw with 2 perfect poison face sets into it. But trust me, I will find you, little base claw with +3 to Cobra Strike. I will find you, and when I find you, Daddy will be very, very happy. And so, my inventory is Torch, Any, some lifer martial arts killers, and a bunch of 18 plus life small charms with either defense, max damage, or an attack rating. As for my merc, it's not really important. I never really geared him for anything other than survivability, so it's just like a tank shield. He doesn't do any damage, is very basic. And such is using a Tomb River and a Corpse Mount armor, because I like the little revives to get some attention away from me. And for the stats, I am using a very simple setup, enough strange and dex for gear, and everything else into vitality. Remember, this is hardcore, we don't joke around here. 2100 HP without BO I feel is extremely decent. Of course the resistances are all maxed out. 11k defense with Defiance Aura. My current flat damage reduction with Defiance on is 13 and percentage damage reduction is 42. But soon enough I should hit about 22 flat damage reduction with my upgrades. As for my actual damage, my physical damage only with Tiger Strike without Venom on is 6k to 13k damage on the third strike. My Cobra Strike charge damage is 12 to 14k damage on the first charge, which is a Nova, and 15 to 17k damage on the third charge, which is the Fog. And finally, but not least, my skills. I use 1 point into Blade Shield. The damage is very unreliable. Oh my god. Unreliable because monsters need to be sitting on top of your character model to actually take any damage from it, but it still is a good chunk whenever it works, and that is thanks to Venom. 20 points into Claw Mastery, 1 to Weapon Block, 20 into Fade, since I am playing on Hardcore, and 20 points into Venom. Finally, 20 points into Cobra Strike, and the rest of your points into Tiger Strike. But if you plan to do bosses, Dclone or Ubers, you should really consider 1 point into Cloak of Shadows to reduce their defense and blind the monsters around them. It is also extremely useful in maps with archers, so you can blind them. Really, it keeps you safe all the time, and don't be dumb like I was. Well, I kinda forgot to put a point into it for 93 levels. No joke, I still haven't put a single point into it. I am planning to, but I did click 1 point into the prerequisites, so yeah, there's that. I'm on my way there. Maybe at 94 I'll get there. Anyway, also, for you Burst and Dclone, I do swap my off-end for a Stormshield and my armor for darkglow to increase my maximum resistances, but Gurki's shield is also pretty nice if you didn't have a Stormshield. Well, this is pretty much it, boys. This is my current hardcore Cobra Assassin, and wait, did I just repeat that? I did, right? Fuck. I hope you enjoyed the guide and the showcase. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Take care and bye bye.